What's up, Ente? What's up, Raza? Sadly, I want to talk about something that just happened on July 7th, about a couple days ago, and that involves the shooting of an innocent man. It appears an innocent Mexican man who from Houston, who was headed to work. This man, his last name is Salgado, Lorenzo Salgado, and he's been in the United States for over 3 decades. He's been working here, started a business. He was on his way to work. His children, by the way, are educated. A lot of them went to school. He's not a drug dealer. He's not a criminal. And for some reason, ICE was watching him and went after him in unmarked cars, and killed him, and now are lying about it. And that's important. They are now lying about what happened. How do we know they're lying about it? I'm gonna give you two reasons why this is important here, and one of them is that they are lying and have been known to lie. Think of Minnesota and what happened with the shooting of the two people there, the nurse, I believe, Pretty, and the other lady who they claim rammed the car of the ICE agent there. So the story is similar here. They are lying, and we cannot settle for these lies. We should not settle for these lies. So let me quickly just read you a little bit of what happened. So, relatives of the Houston man fatally shot by ICE agents describe him as a hardworking family man. His name is Lorenzo Salgado Araujo, who lived in the United States for more than 30 years and was working his way through the process of obtaining legal immigration status, according to his family. Hey, this is important because anybody who's going through the process and understands any, a slight, involvement with the law can get you deported or get your status, yanked. I know that personally. You're not going to get in trouble. So this is important here. What I'm reading. The day after the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE officer, fatally shot Lorenzo Salgado in Houston, East End, his son spoke about his father's dedication to his family. I say he was a hardworking man. Uh, this is important, people, because the family should not have to go in front of cameras, especially a son, especially young kids who lose their father. And in this case, this has been the case for many people. Goes on to say in a statement, it's Tuesday afternoon, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, which oversees ICE, said an ICE agent shot Araujo at approximately 6:50 a.m. Tuesday morning during a targeted enforcement operation. Targeted. That means they're going after him and everybody else in that van. According to DHS, Rajo was from Mexico and did not have legal status in the United States. Dud. A lot of people are here with quote unquote no legal status, although having a green card or having a number that is some legal status. Federal officials claimed that Rajo attempted to evade arrest and tried to run over ICE agents with his vehicle, prompting the agent to shoot Arajo in self defense. Now, here's the problem, everybody. I just read you what the U.S. government is telling us, and I'm reading you from what's called the Houston Public Media. It's a service of the University of Houston. I've been out there. I know exactly where that is. So I'm not reading something biased here that's defending ICE. This is something from the university that's basically laying out the facts. And what we know, just based on those basic facts, is that number one, the same story is reoccurring. They try to run over us. They try to use a vehicle as a car. They try to do this for a man who has built a life, has kids, built a business in Houston, and according to the family, by the way, before I go on, this and I know this for a fact because I know I work with people who have tools in the back of their truck, who have tools in their cars and their trucks and vans, and they have to worry about people breaking in and stealing their tools. That was something that his father was constantly worried about. And I know people who live that have to wake up middle of the day, early morning to make sure nobody's breaking in and stealing their cars or being pulled over or robbed at gunpoint by somebody who just wants to steal their tools. So, what do you think is happening when somebody shows up in an unmarked vehicle with guns, and especially with these ICE agents that don't show their faces in this thug mentality, right? This Gestapo Nazi mentality of taking people in, because that's the other thing is the U.S. is trying to get these numbers back up, and they are quietly now because They did such a horrible job in Minneapolis where they shot two white people, Americans, who it was so embarrassing. Trump had to fire that crazy lady, and now he brings in another crazy man who is quietly trying to up the numbers, get the numbers up. What do you think, Hinta, is happening? What do you think? How do you think people are going to react when they see ICE come up on you, right? And think about that. How you think people are going to react? I know how I would react if somebody came up, unmarked car, unmarked, not identifying themselves, and after everything that's happened, how might you react? This man probably thought his tools were going to be stolen from him. He probably thought somebody's trying to come up on him. You know, the crime we know. We those of us who grew up in the hoods and the ghettos and the barrios, we know crime is horrible. We don't like living in crime. There's nothing great about living in crime. There's nothing live or crime-ridden neighborhoods. We don't want the rapist or the killer next to us, as Tupac Shakur once said, right? He's right, man. Nobody wants to live in those conditions. And so when the United States creates these conditions where people are poor and have to steal or do steal because of whatever reason, drugs or whatever, habits or whatever, a person like Salgado, a person like anybody who has been come up on, they're going to react. They might react. I'm not saying that he did what the ICE or the federal government is saying he did. Nope, I'm not even buying that story. Matter of fact, they have yet to release any footage, any information, anything. So this is sad, and we're standing. A lot of us in the communities, organizers, we are standing with this family. We're standing with victims, including the white victims in Minneapolis. We're standing with anybody who has to die at the hands of ICE. My understanding is this is the fourth shooting at a traffic stop by ICE or by these agents, right? In the last, since Trump got into office, 19 stops I think have been, 17 have involved ICE, and four have resulted in killings. So think about that. This is not fair to our communities. And what are we to do then? What are we to do? I'm not going to tell you all to go out there and pick up a gun, because the truth is, you have a right to own a gun. You have a right to self-defense. And in this case, you know what? If Salgado had a gun in Texas, maybe he has a right to own a gun. Remember, they're real lax on those gun laws. But for anybody who's worried about ICE agents, especially on marked cars, unmarked cars, and masked up, and under Trump, the Trump administration, we do need to prepare ourselves, and we do need to be ready, because in Fresno, California, people were masquerading as false ICE agents, scaring the hell out of people, pulling them over, going to their doors, and people got in trouble for that. They got arrested for that. So we shouldn't have to put up with that kind of terror, whether people are joking or not. And in this case, ICE was not joking. They're armed and they're terrorizing our community, and they killed this man. They killed Lorenzo Salgado. Then his family should not have to be going through this. We should, if we can, vote them out of there. But also, we should, if we can, be prepared also for anybody who's going to come up and try to take advantage of this, because like I mentioned earlier, in Fresno, California, and other cities, people have been masquerading for clout, for views, for laughs and kicks and giggles, and just for fun, to terrorize our communities. We should not have to put up with that, and definitely should not have to put up with real ICE agents who show up and we don't know the difference. And in this case, Salgado, we don't know, because they shot him and they have yet to release the evidence. So with that, I'm going to leave you, Rasa. I am not happy about this. It only proves that they're doing what they're doing silently, quietly, because they know something is coming, and that is called the elections in November, the November elections, for everything from senators to Congress, which would take a lot of power out of the hands of Trump, the new dictator of the United States of America. And because his Republican controlled House of Representatives would basically take a hit, and senators would take a hit, and they could outvote him and take the power back the way it's supposed to be, not like the current administrations or the current Congress right now that's run by Mike Johnson, this clown Republican from Louisiana, who is third in line to the presidency, but basically bends over backwards and bows to Donald Trump's every call or demand. So we can't have that anymore. So they know that's coming, and they're scared. That's one. That's why they're lying. That's why they won't release the evidence. That's why they won't even talk about a lot of stuff that they've been doing. They've been flooding the zone to try to distract us from this failing war in Iran. The gas prices going up and cost of living going up. And now this This is not ever gone away. They've been doing it, but this is proof. This is proof that we can't let up on these Nazis. We can't let up on ICE or these other agents and unmarked cars. Okay. So with that said, Raza, I'm out. Stay strong, and unite around and support the gente, support the raza, support the people. Doesn't matter what color, who are on our side, because we're gonna have to fight this together. ICE is dangerous. They're monsters. Oh, I'm out.